How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over a short video on basically some new ways to get damage. I remember I'd kind of spoken about this to people for a little bit of getting a 3x dex, 1x int false god skin for a cheap entry level kind of solution to getting some damage on this character. And you can see these are like 100 to 150 FE maybe. And for those that either don't have the scales pet, don't worry about balancing your stats. For those that do have a scale pet and you need to balance your stats, just again roll dex on your belt. For your weapon, you can still have your int on it, whatever, that's fine. And if you're off by any amounts after that, after you're crafting your belt, and if you don't have another ring slot or something else to put it on, all you need to do is you can actually go in here and you can actually just craft. You can put the stats you need in order to balance on micro fates and medium fates for either int or dex, balance however you need to do. Having a belt like this where it's low, that doesn't require truth fossils, helps. Because this rerolls with sand, balancing my res was actually kind of easy. You do have to be careful with how you go to roll the stats, because the percent stats that you have are going to like throw off the math by a ton. So just you're going to have to go through it piece by piece. You'll go through some trial and error and accidentally vaporize some money, but it's going to be worth it. When I threw this on over a crafted necklace, so I was running a crafted necklace here with Electrocute Curse, with all this initial growth and other stuff on it, and swapping this over, I ended up gaining like 150 billion DPS. So quite significant difference. Made a huge impact. Yeah, so my damage went through the roof. This is more of a like proof of concept of how much damage you could possibly be hitting with this like this, right? I probably wouldn't be mapping in full things like this with no movement skill, no whatever, but what this does show is that the damage is there to use a necklace like this over using something that's really expensive and crafted. So you can make it work in a pinch. To be honest, it's kind of nice to just use for now anyways. I might just keep using it if I can run it. Yeah. I figured I'd give you guys this update. It's a short, easy, kind of cheap way to get more damage. So I did have to kind of warp my build a little bit in order to fit the new sequence that I ended up hitting on my weapon earlier. I did hit Precise Projectiles Aura Effect, but it does require extra sealed mana. So what that meant is I ended up having to pick up a few sealed mana slates. Here you can see a couple 6% here, and then I already had 8% here, and then on top of the 14% that I got out of those, I did have to swap supports. 2 of these I had to run extra supports on so that it gets that extra 5% from off the beaten track, and then that gets me perfectly to 0 mana. So if I had any negative mana, that would also cause it to break, so be careful with that. But yeah, there's the update. This might be the last update to do an Iris 1. I might do maybe one more. I'm probably going to just make a Iris 2, swap the gear over, show you guys what it takes to get it working. If you did want to make the swap from Iris 1 to Iris 2, what the differences are, you know, what you're going to gain in defense versus losing damage, etc. Just so you guys can kind of get a feel for it and make your decisions on what you want to play from there. Because luckily for the characters, like 90% of the gear just swaps right over. So it's actually one of the best swaps you could possibly make. Whether or not it's worth doing, I guess we'll see. I will let you guys know tomorrow. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And other than that, see you in the next one.